Now we just got to figure out how to move it from here all the way over to here. Come on, Becky. Go. Ah. I think that'll do it. To start off today's video, we're going to be adding one more bracket to the intercooler. I'm hoping I don't have to put another one on it. I'm hoping this one will keep it more back, I guess, away from the bumper. So that's why I kind of got spaced out with some cardboard here. I'll show you guys that here in just a second. But today we're going to be working on the radiator setup for the RX-7. I have the Sirocco radiator and like a custom core I ordered from Bell as well. So we're going to be kind of figuring it out now that the intercooler piping is done and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of changed my mind a little bit too. I have all the piping done for both sides. I just needed to tack it to the intercooler. Well, I'm thinking, I always do this to myself, right? But like the motto behind the car this time is, let's just do it one time and not have to do it again besides the stock motor and possibly like a converter or the tranny. So at some point, I'm going to do pistons and rods in this motor, and this S480 is not going to be big enough for the amount of jam I want to make. So I'm posted it for sale. I got a dude, I literally just posted it for sale like 2-3 hours ago, and I got a dude says he wants it already. So anyways, enough of the ranting stuff. We're going to be doing some radiator stuff, and I got some really cool stuff too. I don't know, at least I think it's cool. It's fancy. I've never done it before, and did get a new sponsor too for the car as well. So let's get started. I'm going to get welding this bracket on really quick, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then we'll get to mounting up the radiators. Real quick before I get too far ahead of myself, I just want to double check and see how the front part fits with the intercooler pipe here. I think it should be okay, but we'll find out here in just a second. Everybody, oh dude, put the hood back on. It'll look so much better. Me, we're for sure putting the hood back on this season. Also me, makes this huge 4-inch freaking intercooler pipe, and of course it does not sit below the hood line at all. Oh, that's gonna be fun to figure that out. Before we mock this radiator up, just gotta weld these dash 16 bungs on here, as I'm sure you guys we're probably guessing with the motto of the build is we're going to do it once and hopefully not have to do it again. We're going to switch everything over to dash 16 fittings. Got some nice fittings, and yeah, I'm really excited to show you guys them here in just a little bit. Go ahead and weld these bungs on here really quick, and then get to mocking this radiator up. Remove the metal inlet neck thing off of the pump, because I'm going to weld an aluminum one on it. Just smack it with a hammer and kind of work her back and forth, and come out just like this. Ah! There you go. Just pull this out, and then I'm going to take the pump up, of course, and weld an aluminum bung right to here, clean this up, and hopefully it doesn't weld too nasty for us. So it's got this welded on there. I did try to pull this pulley off, but I was like, dude, this thing is a pain. So I pulled it off somewhat, and then I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get that off very easily. So I was able to just barely get around it here, and it's all good to go. So it's kind of mocking up exactly how the radiator is going to go in here and kind of how it's going to sit. I just have a crude cardboard box with a 2x4 under there kind of holding this thing up. And yeah, it's going to be something like this. Oh, also got the dash 16 bungs welded on the Sirocco radiator as well. This is a split end tank setup, so right in between here, down in the middle, it has a tab, so that way it actually has to flow this way and then back down and around and then back into where the thermostat's going to go. These are my next thing. This is the little AN thermostat housing from Motion Raceworks. It's made to have a threaded piece thread into here, and it has a little bit extra clearance for the thermostat to sit in here. Well, it really doesn't need that much clearance, and I don't have a lot of room because that hot pipe is right there. So I was just going to weld a bung right to this, but it's way too long. So I'm going to take this over to John at Boley Racing. He's the one that does all of Brent's machining for the Boley and whatnot, and almost all of our machining, I guess. I'm going to have him mill this down all the way to where the threads end, so that way I have a bunch of more clearance and I can get this to work. So got that figured out.
next thing we're moving on to is the smaller radiator. This is the secondary radiator. Now don't judge it too hard, it's not done yet. But this is kind of what we're working with. So this is a really crude setup. So this started its life as some regular 2-inch square tube. I cut some miter ends in the end of it and then welded some 2-inch tabs to it. So it works out really nice because then it ends up like this. We have this really nice, I mean it's not nice, but it's nicer than just some square tube off of here. So it has some nice ends on it and stuff. And it should work really well for what I want to do with it. A quick little tip here too is weld the insides of these like this. It makes it look way cleaner on the outside and just gives it some more aesthetics. I'm also going to, once this is all welded up and done and I figure out where the fill neck's going to go, I'm going to go ahead and like sand these and then polish them. Not crazy, just make them look better because they don't have a good finish on them. Went ahead and got all the bungs welded on the inside. They're nice and clean. Let me see if this thing's hot. As you can see, they're super clean looking. There's no welds. Almost looks like someone didn't weld it. Clearly welded it. Another little quick tip. I guess I'm just giving you a bunch of tips today. I like to, because you got to be careful about like not arcing out right here on this flare part because then you'll damage the fitting. I like to take like a piece of tubing that fits over them like this and just like set them on it. So this side over here has one, so I'm going to be setting that side down and then just rest on the table, and then now instead of arcing out through the flare, it won't do that. It'll try to arc out like around here, which it shouldn't because it's not super thin here. But I'm going to go ahead and preheat this a little bit. We're jumping forward quite a bit here, but I did get the end tanks all welded onto this and everything welded onto it. As you can see, I have it mounted over here and tacked up. Honestly, I don't know, this stuff didn't weld the greatest, but it's alright. It doesn't look bad, it just wasn't the greatest, so I'm going to polish all this up anyways, so it's going to look better. But I made these little roll bar mounts. This is a piece of 1 5/8 Dolkel, just cut in half and then opened up a little bit so that we can clamp to there. I have this bracket over here tacked on. Still got to pull it off and weld it. And then I also have one down here as well. Need to get some hose clamps for this one, but it works great. Got plenty of clearance here for the AN fitting to come up and around. Actually, before we end this video, I need to pull the turbo off of the RX-7 because I did get it sold, like as mentioned earlier. And Nick over at PTS Fab actually has the new turbo on its way. Comment down below and see if any of y'all can guess what turbo we went with. It's still VS Racing. I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you guys do LS stuff, you'll know what turbo I went with. But I just ended up getting rid of the S480 because, I don't know, I just don't want to have an issue with and not being able to make more power and then getting a bigger turbo later on when I do pistons and rods, or if I want to send the stock motor harder and then having to modify the turbo kit, like having to chop the intercooler pipe back off, having to modify anything like that. So I'd rather do that right now so that way I don't have any issues and I don't have to upgrade later on. So the turbo that I got should be good to make around 1200 or so, which honestly is more than I'm planning on making with this thing for a very long time, if ever. I don't know if I plan on making more. So pull this turbo off really quick, go drop it off to the dude that bought it, and the new turbo should be in soon. And then we'll come back here and do the AN lines and the fittings. I'm really excited because this is a new sponsor we got. I'm sure you guys can guess. We got some nice fancy fittings for this thing. For this next part, I'm really excited because we did get a new sponsor on the car. It is Colored Fittings. Go check them out online at www.coloredfittings.com. They have all kinds of AN fittings in different sizes. They have purple, green, black, red, teal, orange, all kinds of stuff. So if you need a special type of colored fitting, and they are a really nice finish, they're a nice gloss finish to them, and they actually match really well. So like this purple matches the tile purple really well. And that is like stuff is all anodized. I'm sure that's what this is as well. So that's why I got the purple, is to match the titanium charge pipe and to match the blow-off valve. So it's going to look kind of cool. I've always wanted to do AN lines for my coolant system. So we are definitely going to be working with them more for the catch can stuff and whatnot, but that's going to be later on. For now, this is all the stuff for the radiator stuff, and it is some really nice stuff. So if you guys need some AN lines and anything else, really go check them out. They make really nice colored fittings because these are really awesome. Go check them out on Instagram as well. I'll put a link down below to all their stuff. Thank you guys for supporting the RX-7, and they support me, so you guys go support them as well. So let's get to running some of the AN lines for the coolant system on the RX-7. Before we start measuring and cutting the hose for the coolant lines on the RX-7, just wanted to show you guys the setup. So I don't know if I explained this earlier, but this is the outlet on this pump. It's going to pump out over to here to the top side of the smaller radiator, come down to the bottom, come back up to the top side of the bigger radiator, flow through this way and then back down and back up to where the thermostat housing is. And as you guys can see, I was talking to you guys earlier about getting this milled down so that way we had more room here, because there was not a lot of room here for the pump, and I actually didn't have enough room to put a 45 fitting down on this, so I actually had to weld a hard like 45-degree bend on there, so that way we have this nice angle right there, and just a little bit of piece of straight hose and we should be all good to go. Just a better close-up of these fittings. Look at how nice the finish is on these things. Like when I get it in the light good enough, it just blinds you. These things are super nice and fancy. So I'm really happy with them coming on board, because these things are awesome looking, and I like supporting companies that do awesome things. So first thing first though, I'm going to go ahead and unthread these and just measure this for the piece of straight, because this one's going to be kind of hard because it is so short. It's not going to be very fun to do. So I'm going to do this one first, and then we'll move on to these other ones over here. Just want to help some people out. If you have a hard time with doing AN line and stuff, this stuff should be really easy. This stuff isn't PTFE line, so it's not as much of a pain in the butt. PTFE line is like a nightmare. I don't know. I've never had a good time with PTFE. It's annoying. This stuff works great for everything else. I forget what this is actually called. I think it's just like nylon stuff. I don't know. But this is not PTFE, so it's a little bit easier. But wherever you're going to cut, I would tape it. Normally I use electrical tape. It seems to work better because you can stretch it to help it not fray as bad. But all I have is blue tape right now, so that's what we're going to be using. I also like to use an angle grinder with an abrasive cutoff wheel on it. It helps. I don't like jam it through there fast. I go nice and slow, because actually what it does is it cuts through a little bit of stainless steel in the actual softer part of it, the fabric, and it like burns it and doesn't like fray it and rip it and like make it fray out like all dumb like this. So it actually kind of like burns it and like doesn't rip it or anything like that. Like I've seen people try to cut them in a bandsaw. I mean, it works. I don't think it works as good as using an abrasive cutoff wheel, but it does work. So I recommend a cutoff wheel. We'll go ahead and cut this, and I'll show you guys these fittings. They're actually really nice. They have a little stop in there, and they kind of tell you where to put the front of the hose in the fitting. So we'll get this cut, and then we'll show you guys installing a fitting. There you go. The cool thing is with using the abrasive wheel, do you see how it's not like frayed or ripped? None of the stainless stuff is all messed up or ripped out of it. So going to put the fitting on, you're going to stab your hands, or you're not going to have a hard time. So this side, I took the tape off already, and I did shove a fitting on it just to kind of mess with it. But do you see how frayed it is and how much of a nightmare it's going to be to put a fitting back on it? It actually isn't too bad, but as you can see, like they do fray really quick and really fast if you aren't careful with them. So. And then, of course, I've seen people do this too, where they leave the tape on it after they cut it. Do not do that. It messes up like how it compresses and like it compresses the actual line itself to get a nice seal. So don't do that. That's not okay. Before we go to install these fittings, I want you guys to look at this. So right here, you can kind of see it. There's these little lips right here. Well, these are little indicators for you to where do you put the hose. So I put the end of the hose flush with that very last ring closest to you guys. So there's two of them in there, and it fits perfect like that, and the fitting won't pull out. So let's go ahead and install the fitting on the piece of hose that I cut. We went ahead and got the compression side fitting on the hose itself. Now, be better than me and buy the soft jaws for the AN fitting so you don't scratch the crap out of them. I just have this little bench vise right here, but it works really well. I taped them up to try not scratch them. It sucks, but at some point these things are going to get damaged. I'm just going to try and not damage them as much. Also, I got the other side taped up. I like to just throw a little bit of oil or lube or whatever you got on this side. It just makes it seem to go a lot better, even on the threads, because once you start tightening it, it just, I don't know, everything seems better with a little bit of oil on it. So it just goes in there really nice. So yeah, shove this in there, nice and easy, and then start it by hand. It's starting to get tight already. Oh man. And then we'll just put the AN wrench on it. And then I like to, that's another thing too I see a lot of people, they don't bottom their fitting out, and it's like either you put it in, if you can't bottom it out, you put it in too far and then you messed up, or you didn't put it in far enough. So right there is bottomed out. Not bottomed out, but just really close to being bottomed out, and they're lined up. So we'll go ahead and turn it back just a smidge because I went a little too far. There you go. No issues, no scratches with the blue tape. Another thing I like about these is these are the swivel fittings. Almost all of them now are swivel, but these make tightening them on there way easier. So you can definitely tell. I could have went a little bit further on this to bottom this out, but I did not. You can tell though because the hose actually does like move a little bit, but I can't pull it out. Like sometimes if you don't go far enough, you'll tighten this on there, it'll go on really easy, and you go to pull this out and it'll just come right out. So go ahead and do the other one, and then we'll do the rest of them and show you guys the final product. These are really nice fittings though, by the way. A little bit of oil on those makes those go way smoother. Just finished up this last coolant line for the RX-7. Just gonna go ahead and put it on really quick. I'm gonna have to take it all back off later. The whole setup's gonna come back off just so I can clean it all out and whatnot. I need to take it off to mount the coils down here anyway, so I got the little coil relocation kit. So I'm gonna have to take the manifolds off and the whole turbo kit off to do that. I'm gonna have to take the intercooler back off anyways. And before I go to start it, I'll just take it all back off just to clean it. It would be a good little safety measure, I guess, just in case, you know, I miss something. So just gonna put them back on for now. I normally, to clean them out, I just spray them with a little bit of brake cleaner. And man, these things are always fun. Like, I don't know why they don't like the thread on there sometimes. Like, you just get the pressure just right. But I'd normally just spray some brake cleaner in them and then blow them out with air, or just blow them out with air. Kind of just depends. Come on, you big old fitting. There you have it. So the lines are all done. I'm gonna go ahead and, well, so later on I'm gonna make a little bracket that holds these like this on the radiator. So they're away from the crossover and away from the charge pipe too. Like I said before earlier, huge shout out to Color Fittings. At Color Fitting on Instagram, go check them out, go follow them on social media, go hit them up, go comment on their stuff, and get you some of these nice fittings. You're not going to be disappointed. These things are super easy to use, and yeah, it makes it so much cleaner. Like, I don't know, I might, at the very end when it's all done, I might do like a little before and after picture with how janky the setup used to be and how nice it is now. And these little color fittings make the little details that much better, you know, like regular rubber hoses would have ruined this setup. So we're gonna go ahead and take the charge pipe back off, because y'all know me, and the name of the game with this build is we're gonna do it right and do it once. I'm gonna do it how I want it the first time. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the charge pipe back off because I'm not happy with the color on it and the finish. After doing Carlos's and polishing it, the color looks way better. And I got a better idea for the coloring. I don't want to do it all the same color. I'm got a little trick up my sleeve, and we're gonna see if it works. It might not look good, and I'm gonna have to redo it. But I'm hoping it looks good. So we'll go ahead and pull this off and get to polish. Well, I was going to polish this and color this tonight. Ended up not doing it just because it looks really good on camera, but I'm not really happy with like how it's actually coming out. So I ordered some more wheels and stuff just to have the proper stuff I needed anyways. So we'll go ahead and get those here, and then we'll recolor this. Hopefully by then the turbo will be here as well, so we can get that on there and get that modified and weld this intercooler piping on there. That is going to do it for this video, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the support you guys give. Also remember, the pre-sale on the sweatshirts is still going on, so if you want one of those, go get them. I'll probably let it run for like another week. So go get it. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to try and upload this on Thanksgiving for y'all. When y'all have probably nothing better to do after, you're stuffed. So next week, Wyatt and Kyle will be in town too, so we'll probably go hang out with them, do some filming and stuff, just kind of see them. I haven't seen them in a minute, and I miss my boys. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later. You wanna know what's funny is I didn't realize how dirty my face was when I just filmed that clip for you guys. I just went and washed my hands, and I'm like, gosh dang, dude. Oh, all right. Anyways, this is so ridiculous. I'm tired. Have a good Thanksgiving.